This is Nick Nielsen, Mad Scientist of Muscle, and what I've got for you today here is a review of a doorway pull-up bar from a company called Fitbeast. Now, this company is basically, it's made in China. Now, don't let that cloud your judgment here, because even though the tagline is one of my favorite taglines that I've ever seen, build muscles, not bill, it's actually a really good quality piece of equipment. Now, that tagline, as far as I understand it, I think it translates into basically build muscle, don't pay a lot of money going to a gym, don't pay a lot of money for equipment that is not going to get you where you want to go. So this piece of equipment is actually quite good. Like I was saying, this is built of solid steel and it's very well adjustable. Now, I don't have a doorway down here in my basement, but what I'm going to do here is set this up between the posts of the power rack. Now, I've tested this and it actually holds me up very easily. So this, it's not like some plastic piece of junk. This is actually a solid piece of equipment. I'm going to give you kind of a close-up view here because the first time I used this, it actually took me a bit of time to figure out the setup, and partly my fault that I was being kind of dense on how this actually was working. Now, what you can see here is this serrated little clip here. This, when you're setting it up, you want this to be free. You want this freely moving. Obviously, these are the pads that wedge against the door frame. Now, to make it bigger, you hold one end with your hand here and then loosen it. Sorry, that's the wrong way. That's actually making it smaller. Now, to make it bigger to fit in your door frame, you hold this, and you can see, I'll flip it around here so you can read the instructions. It has a little label that says tighten and loosen. Now, tighten is making it bigger, which tightens it up onto the door frame. Now, to get it to the approximate size, you want to basically hold it kind of right here. As you can see, I've got a little room to maneuver here. So you want to, before you even put this by your door, kind of measure it out. And they actually have a little ruler scale here, so you can, take a tape measure if you want, or you can just hold it right up to your actual door frame and rotate it until you get to the right position. So, tighten, hold one end, and then just rotate this whole thing. This thing actually moves. So this is what kind of threw me off when I was first trying to get this thing set up. I thought it was like some telescoping thing that you're going to snap into position and use, kind of like a dog gate thing where it flips down and uses compression. Now, what this does is it screws in. So that's why you need these little red things to be freely moving at the time that you're putting this up. Get this in, and I'll come around this side here. Like I said, get it pretty close to where you want it to be. Now, hold it in position and start to keep spinning this. Now, once you get it kind of, set in the door frame that you're using, get it kind of tight, but not really tight enough so that it'll stay up and not put any weight on it yet. So, hold it on here. And then you're going to keep on rotating the center bar. It's actually a good forearm workout too. But you keep rotating the center bar and rotating it and rotating it until you get this thing really solidly tight in your door frame. Now, if your door frame is crumbly, this is not for you, because this is going to push really hard outwards against here, which is what secures it against the door frame. So obviously you want something that's solid and not going to buckle or crack. That's very important. Now, the thing here, you want to get nice and tight on here. It does say it has a 440 pound capacity. I haven't tested that much weight. I've tested it with my body weight and no problem at all. And I had no problem being confident enough to actually load some extra weight on myself as well while doing this, which I'll demonstrate for you as well. So keep on spinning this until we get really solidly tight. So this is getting there. Now, that's where these red things come in. These are going to basically connect into the teeth of these, go right into the receptacle here. And you will need to line them up. So, you see that slips right into there and stops further rotation. Now, what I did find with this, and basically it's one of the other than, you know, breaking things if you push it too tight on a friable door frame, is these don't always both line up. So what I found is I do need to make some adjustments still, even as I'm using these, to make sure that I get enough of these things to lock in. So this one doesn't fully go in, but close enough. So, I mean, you're not going to be doing chin-ups and trying to rotate this thing at the same time. So as long as you get one in solidly, that's the important thing. Now, here's a demonstration of how much weight this can carry. I weigh about 195 pounds right now, and rock solid. I almost did like that crazy glue thing where I glue my head to the, and then stand here, and you'd have to be old to remember that one. But basically, this is a great door frame setup. This bar is rock solid. It's a nice thick bar, and it's got foam padding on here, so it really challenges your grip in addition to giving you a solid frame to do pulls from. Right, now in terms of exercises, obviously chin-ups are one you can definitely do with this bar. What I did find is you can't really do pull-ups, especially wide grip pull-ups. You could potentially grip on here, but it's not particularly comfortable. So you're primarily going to be doing this with either palms facing inwards chin-ups or reverse grip pull-ups with a close grip, because you don't have a wide enough grip on here to really do wide grip pull-up. Doesn't make it a bad exercise because both of those grips are actually very, very good for your back, biceps, upper body training just in general. Now, what you can also do, and what I like about this kind of design, the pressure mounted design versus something that clips over the top door frame, is that you can actually set this down low here as well to do inverted rows or a wide variety of other exercises. For example, let me pop these things out and I'll show you. Loosen this up. It almost gives you the functionality of a power rack or a Smith machine bar that, you know, can be set up high, down low, or pretty much wherever. As you can see, I'm setting this right to about here. Same concept. You want to make sure that this wedges in, gets nice and tight. And like I mentioned, it's actually really good forearm training as well by rotating this thing like so to get it nice and tight. Now, once you get that there, slip that in. Again, make sure at least one of these things is solidly in there. It's going to be a bit tougher to get both of them in there, which I think is really the only really major design flaw on this. It's not a deal breaker in my opinion, but it is a consideration. Now, once you've got the solidly on there, this allows you to do exercises such as bodyweight tricep extensions. Just like so. So this is good for a lot more than just chin-ups and pull-ups in a doorway. You can use it for tricep training. You can use it for inverted rows, which I'll show you here as well. So that would be an inverted row. If I didn't have this rail here, I could get full range of motion, but I'm not going to reset the whole thing. You get the idea. But this gives you a lot more options for bodyweight training at home, much more so than just chin-ups, pull-ups, or using a mounted chin-up bar that only allows you to mount it high up. You could even do, you know, close grip push-ups if you're working on doing a lot of high rep stuff, or if you're working on strengthening your push-ups just in general. Maybe you're not ready to do full push-ups yet. You can set this at different heights to do elevated push-ups, which are much better than kneeling push-ups. So overall, as you can tell, I think this is a good piece of equipment. This is solidly built. There are some plastic pieces on here, but it's good quality plastic. The only real design flaw that I found were these slidey thingies. You can get one in, definitely. Might be a little bit tougher to get both in, but it shouldn't really make a difference in terms of the functionality of this. Because one is locked in, that is not going to really allow you to do much here. Yep, there's a bit of give on it, so it'll rotate a tiny little bit, but nothing you're going to do in terms of exercises is, once this is locked in, it's going to allow you to loosen it up so much that it's going to be dangerous or fall off. Now, one of the nice things about this bar is once you bring it in, you can actually fit this in just about any decent sized suitcase. And there's not a lot of pieces that are going to flail around, and definitely not going to cause any damage to a hotel room. So if you're traveling, and you know, hotel room workouts are notorious for not having a lot of good pulling options, this gives you some great pulling options. Chin-ups, pull-ups, inverted rows. Again, the bodyweight tricep extensions, push-ups. There's a ton you can do with the bar that you can adjust in height like this with the pressure-mounted design. So overall, a couple of little tiny little issues, but nothing I would say that should stop you from getting this if you're looking for a good piece of bodyweight training equipment for at home or while you're traveling.